live with Ambrose. Yes, I can tell that the global market, as we speak now, is strongly in a misdirection. And I'll tell you that the trade tension between U.S. and China has also continued to drive the volatility we are seeing at the week opening. Today is the 14th day of the week. We are seeing that most mature markets are opening in a misdirection as a result of what volatility, as a result of what the trade tension between China and the US, as Trump said that he might likely give another 100%, to Russia, to China, sorry, and that also have moved. Most of the Asia market are in red. But US market have rebounded strongly, opening on a strong note this morning. But we'll come to see the details of all this as things unfold in this class today. Yes, let's start from what is happening in Asia market. Let's start from there. I'll tell you that know that most of the stocks in Asia market or market there are looking red now. On a fresh US China tariff no problem, or what they the dialing front and back, and that have led to what the market in this Asia region to look southwards seriously this morning. I'll tell you that the decline is very, very massive. I can say that Hong Kong is leading this decline this morning. Most of the stocks are in red, and this also kind of trigger investors undermining investors confidence. Fear has come in as Trump on Sunday appeared to be to soften his tone, writing to the Truth Social. These are the things we believe that was also shaping the market. But don't worry about China. China will always find its way. You can see that even the last report, you can see that China export figure was still high. But I believe that US and China are testing water in all this. But let's see how it goes. But most of other nations have already settled, trying to plan and move ahead and preparing for 2026 already. But I believe that the reassurance, help to lift the US stocks, early Asia this morning. But I believe that this region, as we speak, the equity market remain very, very, very down as we speak, awaiting a further update on what will happen as we speak in terms of this US and China tariff dispute that is also happening at this moment. As we speak now, Hong Kong, I said earlier, they have tumbled about almost 2.3% this hour, dragging most of the heavy losses in that market. Why major internet stocks in China look a bit stable for this hour, despite the that of Hong Kong shaking. But I see that stock like Alibaba and those other ones are having some marginal decline. But let's see how the market will go. The mainland China was see that market there are also weak. We see that blue chips companies or blue chips index also showing that yes, also looking down, extending the Friday, fear. But after Trump announced plan to impose additional 100%, which I've said earlier, tariff on all Chinese, ban export, in response to Chinese, covering its critical mineral export. These are the things Trump also, don't forget, Trump also plan to impose new, import control on a certain US-made software. These are the things that also kind of fracturing investors, confidence as speak now. But I believe that that global economy or global market is in this shock this morning. But I believe that as week unfold, on the strength of earnings expected to start hitting the market, already we are start seeing few of them this material market to kind of stabilize the market. But this morning, I think that the Asia market is still looking down as we speak. Yes, if you look at what is happening in Japan, despite the kind of we've seen some setback from the new prime minister after the coalition partner also withdraw. I see that despite that, I see that the Japan market is also looking up, and also even also close to the for public holiday. We are seeing that most regional market there also are looking down amidst this this tariff up and down instability that is coming from the two world economy, the second and the first, US and China. But if you look at that also, we can see that in the whole, I will tell you that that Nikkei 22 would also have jumped up this morning, Monday, as the yen weekend after the assumed new prime minister also the bid also have kind of suffered a setback after, like I said earlier, the the coalition partner also withdraw from the race. That also have set back. Despite that, we are seeing that the Japan market is still. But one that said that South Korea is also down. That of Australia is also down. Singapore is also down. But I'll tell you that India has kind of opened this morning very strong again. That's why the region is also solid. But don't forget that India and US are all talking about tariff. Why India start to look inward and see what they can do to match the levy or tariff on them. But for me, it's a good one for them. But if you look at each, you can also look at also the India, where we have seen that the inflation figure for India has also have softened to about 1.5. For me, it's just a good macroeconomic data, and also that came from that region also as to speak. But if you look at Europe market is still dicey. The what is happening in France is also still rubbing on that general zone as we speak. We all agree that with time go on as the French president is also moving to appoint a new prime minister. Also, let's see how all this is going to play out in that region. Don't forget that politics cannot be separated from what from economy or what because security and risk is very very important, and that is why when you have political instability as a way of affecting investors' confidence, that is what was kind of seen in that zone as we speak. But I believe that the ECB, ECB also is watching on their rate movement, in terms of rate cut, that the rate cut they have done before now, how it's going to empower the economy there in that zone. But let's wait and see what's up. But let's quickly go to what is happening in US right now. Yeah, because of our time, US I think that US market has also have shown strength. You can see that most of the indices in US have opened the week on a strong note after Trump comment on China trade tariff and not that. But I can tell you that most of the market in this US are up. The three indices for measuring different sector or market is also up. So speaking of that, the US market is open, been despite the spike that statement that came from Trump over the weekend. I was seeing that the market is up this morning, and there's some fear over the new escalation in U.S. China tension. For Trump, who also had said he could also place a sky high new levy on Beijing, and don't forget this are what have affected the market there. You can see what I believe that China know how to also to maneuver it. I said exports from China top estimate in September. But I'll tell you that the trade tariff would also over the widening economic outlook, just both for China and also for US. But I'll tell you that you can see that there's a kind of a rush to save even windows now. You can see that gold has moved also to a fresh all-time high again. A fresh all-time, and also can see that oil also have also rebounded today. All these awards as also the world leaders are also meeting in Egypt to discuss how Gaza will be rebuilt or how security or say peace will return to Gaza. These are the things that are unfolding. I tell you, all these are the way of influencing market activities. If you look at the, like I said earlier, you can see that if you look at the Dan Jones index is up by almost 1.1% up. That is a good one. While S&P is also 1.5%. It's very sharp, and NASDAQ, which is the tech related in sector, is up by 1.9, which is almost 2%. This is huge. You can see that this Monday was a good market. After we see some setback on Friday, seeing all these Wall Street activities improving, driven by posed by by Trump and all those stuff. But I believe that the investors are still watching, especially as all eyes are what are the earnings season to work to give investors insight. But don't forget that politics and also trade movement is also very very important. That means the front and back of US and China on their trade tariff and movement agreement. These are also have a way of also affecting sentiment in that region. But I believe that the US export control and that software that will start by November 1. Let's see how it's going to work. And we believe that also China, also counterpart also has also activated and see. Let's see and see how all this is going to play out. Come the summit that's coming up in South Korea later this month. Let's see how far all this will play. However, I think there is plan, gathering, plans out on the ground to see how all this, up and down in tariff will also be settled. But let's wait and see I believe that Trump's statement here and there has a way of refueling and also deflating the market one way or the other. No, that's why investors also pay, so that this noise, you have to filter the noise in the market. Because most times you can see market can go up, can come down, but once you're able to filter the noise and also trade your price action, you're able to stay stable in the market and going up and down with the statement of one person or the other moving the market up. But since the China export surpassed expectation, this also I believe that shows that China growth have rebounded in September. Let's see how it's going to be in the figures we're expecting from China, and this also have kind of you know ignite some trade tension with the US. Let's see, because China with all this was that their export has also been on the uptrend despite the inflation that is it's been a weakness in that country. But let's see how it's going to also foreign countries also looking at exporting and importing from China. All this, don't forget that this second largest economy has also increased gradually. We see that the exports continue to increase from about 6%, protection, that's about 3.8. This is a good one. No, for me, it's also, let's see how it's going to play out going to the future. I believe that the US will not ignore and China will not ignore, but they have to come to a point to agree what to do to move. I see there that the gold after the other has moved to this one number there, 4,100, $400 per watt. The price as we this year on that New York Times. A lot of what the new US, China trade tension has boosted demand for what for safe haven assets like gold as we speak now. But let's see how it goes. But I tell you earlier that oil price rebounded from it almost a 5 years low to around there as we speak now. Consider oil trading around there 63.72 dollar per barrel as we speak at this hour as we are on in this class. But let's wait and see what's going to close for the day. Good one that we are seeing there between OPEC and also ceasefire that is also in Gaza and oil price. Let's see how all this is going to bring stability to the global economy and also bring this also to Middle East and also look how also that Russia and Ukraine issue can also be resolved. Yes, back to Africa. I'll tell you that Africa market is very, very mixed right away now as we speak. And good news that we are seeing that most of the market in South Africa are sustaining an uptrend momentum, which is also a good one. Today, the fourth trading of the week, the African market is starting on a good note. Only few of the African market are in red. Just few of them, one majority of the market here are in green. I can say that NGX, I can speak that for NGX right now. NGX is already has broken out the last all-time high on Friday, and that trend has been sustained now. To speak now, can see that the market is trading above 147,000 mark around there. To speak now, 147,000 and 49.73 right away, up by about 99.58, presenting 0.07% as we speak. Good news for the market that the market is going up. For me, it's a good one, and as a result of that, investors are looking forward to see the Q2 number, and that is very, very Q3 number. Sorry, that is very, very important for every investor in the market to pay attention. But that is the only way you can make what your informed decision to know where to stay right away as to speak. For today, we're looking at the positioning strategy for October, February cycle on NGX. In Nigeria, you need to understand those months that market perform worst and those months that market also perform best. And also we are seeing that in this 5 months of the year, we see Nigeria market in a stronger active mode, and also that's the period that the real returns are on in this market. From October to February, if we were to get it right at this period, we will always make money in this market. That's why we want to share the strategy that you can adopt today on how to invest in this market, especially NGS with this period of October, as all eyes are on Q3 number in a month from now. Already we have seen the first one kicking off the Q3 number, which we'll be discussing the number tomorrow. On Wednesday. If for that number, which also eyes are still expecting an inflation figure, we'll be discussing these numbers by Wednesday. That then will now say no. Yes, the number that came from the regular, the first third quarter number. But today, because we are looking at this strategy, positioning and strategy for between October and the February cycle on NGS, you must pay attention to this discussion this morning or this afternoon, because I believe that the market on its own are giving a sign of a bullish trend. Looking at the chart pattern already, like I said in this class, that we're already seeing what we call an invert, head and shoulder, and that is that the market is set for what another rally. And what are the factors that will support this market, to rally? You need to look at macroeconomic data. That means the corporate numbers and economic numbers are very, very important at this point. But before we go to that, let's look at what the market is doing generally. Like I've said, I've given you, that we're having an up market marginally, but you can see that the market breadth remain positive right now as we speak. We're seeing the market breadth is positive, having a 20 gainers against 20 gainers against the 14 losers right now. For me, it's also a good one. We're seeing that the Union Icon is leading the pack, followed by Sovereign Trust. We're seeing a Regency, also we're seeing a Royal Exchange and Deep Capital. These are the top gainers. Then on the loser side, you can also look at the Triple G. You can see, Legend Internet, Guinness, or Guinea Insurance, not Guinness, Guinea Insurance, and also that of Universal Insurance and Prestige. These are also the ones that are losing, are topping the losers chart as before. There's no cause for that. The market has started on a good note this morning. Let's keep our eyes on the market and invest also wisely. Also, and that's why we're having this class, so that after the class you can also go back and review your portfolio. Yes, like I said, you are looking at the positioning strategy for these 5 months of the year. The last 5 months of this year, or let's say the last 3 months of the year, and the first 2 months of the new year 2026. And don't forget that the January effect in Nigeria market is very, very active, and that trend will continue. Also, we have seen it for the past 6 years or 5 years that have been consistent, that our market have returned huge in the month of January and February. Now, we're saying that the position between now October and that is another way to earn nothing less than 50% return if we're able to play it with knowledge, and that's why we're going to share this morning in this class. Yes, to start with, I tell you that November is one of the most strongest market on NGX. November and December, January, February, like I posted earlier. And if you really want to make money, once you're able to take decision from the month of October and be able to wait within this 5 period and looking at the trend of the market and also adjust and move the market, I'll tell you, for traders, you're able to make good money. While for investors, I also positioning forward for dividend early, because you don't wait to see result before you buy. If you're able to buy early at a good price, considering other strategies like technicals and also fundamental, I'm telling you, you are buying in the market at the right time. And that's why I said this is the right time to position. Say the positioning strategy for this period, on NGX is very, very important. Or a cycle is very, very important. What the thing first to do at this period, if you want to really invest profitably at this season, is first of all you look at you target companies with strong earnings power that support price and what and payout. Because already we're expecting to see third quarter that will give you insight of what going to do, what the company going to do at the end of the year. Especially, don't forget that this last 3 months of the year is one of the also what quarter that companies' performance are also doubled. When I mean double, they perform more than this quarter than the previous. Why? It's because of what activities, festive period, and all that. Especially for those companies that are into transportation, food, and other stuff. You can see because of activities will increase in this last quarter of the year. For that, we must target companies with strong earnings power that can support price and what and pay. And you have seen their Q3 now, Q1, Q2. This question number will give you a strong base to also to make your last forecast what to position for the year 2025. And for that, the first thing that strategy you must target companies with strong, and that is what your fundamental analysis is key here. For those that follow us, we'll give you the criteria to know a company that is fundamentally sound, and what you should know, a company that sustain a kind of growth that you should pay attention to. That's why you must target companies with strong earnings power that support your price and growth. Then the second one is that position before the company's Q3 and Q4 hit the market. That means before the release date, or you must be in those stocks. That's why for those that are expecting the Q3 number, you don't wait to see the number. Yes, we have seen that of the review. You need to be in the market in those stocks after you have considered you have seen their performance for Q1, Q2, and also you have seen their price oscillation. Then I'm talking of fundamental now. We're going to talk about technical again. We're looking at these companies and then where to enter. That's why investing with date is very, very important. That's why you need to position before their Q3 and Q4 numbers are released to the market. It's very, very important. Pay this attention and also do that. Then one thing that's very, very important that is spot the value area of the stocks trend before the earnings hit the market. That is where your technical start coming now. Don't forget that I've been talking about value area where you use your resistance and your support level effectively to know exactly what to do when it comes to work, looking at price, where to position. When you have seen the company, and that's why I said always anywhere I am talking is that fundamental can help you to have a good watch list. Why price to buy or sell is more of your technical, and that's why for you to be a successful trader, you must have to effectively combine your fundamental and technical anytime you are trading or you are investing. That will give you an edge for those that only stand on technical or those that only stand on fundamental. But if you're able to combine the two effectively, I tell you, you'll be a better and a successful investor or trader in any market where you are trading. Yes, now that you want to spot the area, the value area of this stocks trend before their earnings hit the market. That is where you have to position. Now, I said that market itself have formed a kind of an invert head and shoulder. I put that I feel that as market is able to break out this neckline here, you can see that there's a neckline here. One market break this neckline off, you can see that it has rallied and surpassed the previous height. You can see that the market is, and yes, you can see that this rally has been supported mostly by high cap stock, which I agree with you. But it tells you that as far stock market is going up, it has a way of driving that. And I know that I follow me. I said the market direction has 50 influence on what on others and sectors. As far as the market is going up, even though it's being led by few high cap stock, I'll tell you all eyes are on the market because it's a sign that what is pointing to where the economy is going. That means you must pay attention to it anytime, any day. It's very, very important for you to know that this is where you look. Because the stock market is a leading indicator. When you see the market going up like this, it's telling a story, and you must follow that story. As especially as earnings around the corner now, these earnings will come and also bring others that are yet to move. Those blue chip companies and those growth companies that has potential, good numbers are confident are going in a bit expectation in liquidity. I will tell you, you see volume coming back, see liquidity coming back, and that is the beauty of stock market anytime, any day. Like I was saying, that here you can also apply to use your trend following strategy or trade. When you have to put your T line, put your moving averages to follow that. Yes, to know the strength of the market, to know that yes, the market is strong, where the index or the price action is above what your moving average. Either we are using T line, we are using a 20 days, we are using 5 days. Once you see that the price action or index action is above it, then you can use that trend following to trade and see how to position the right thing. Then another was that if you want to trade breakouts, breakout is what you can see at this period now. Within this period now, you are saying, I tell you, within this 5 months time, you need to position and follow the market and know when to take profit, because as you are entering, you have a goal, and that goal will help you to know your buy range, your stop loss, and at the time your profit target. You can hit it within this 5 months, because I tell you that this 5 months, the market, within this period, more than 50 to 60% return. While other months can give you around 20 to 30, but for these 5 months, you can make as between 50 to 60% return if you play intelligently and follow the strategy I was mentioning here now. Trend following, you have to follow the trend, and by knowing that where the market is weak and strong. But I tell you now, market is already strong. But there's will cause some from some indices to the market so that you can help us also to look at what we are saying. Yeah. Then trading a breakout. You must take a breakout. That breakout is where you see your support that become very important. What I tell you that, and that is where the value area is also very key. Know when the volume to break out and the momentum behind it. Like I said, you must also use your trend following to know to gauge the strength in the market. That's where your ADS become important, your money flow become important. You need to pay attention to all this. Then the last one is what pullback. You pull back in this market. Pulling back within the value area ahead of earnings. And if the fundamental is sustained, it's a time for you to jump, because at the pullback, you see to buy at a discount, and that's how you also invest profitably in any market. Once you pay attention to this, I'll tell you, this is the best way to beat the market in any time, especially within this 5 months of the year. But I will tell you here that the best months on NGX, you need to know them. These best months are October, November, December, January, April, July, May. These are the best months on this NGX. You have it, and you're able to take position along and flow in that direction. I will tell you, you make money in this market. The worst months on NGX are September. Even when you see them going up, it just recently, because of there's a shift this year, was in September, September, June, August. Most time March is also in between, either up and down. March, I would say, is one, because most time when company release result in March, even though going down, it go. But when they start marking down in April, started going up again. That much you must consider this month I mentioned: October, November, December, January, April, July, May. These are the strong months in this, on NGX. Pay attention to them if you want to make money in this market. Yes, because of our time, we'll go back to look at those things we don't mention. We'll call up our indicators to guide us to see. That's why here you call either you are using a moving average, but for this class, you know that I don't play with what with the T line. T line is very important to us to know to gauge the strength in the market. Once you're able to gauge market strength, you're able to make what informed decision to tell you that yes, you are the right time to buy. Say you always buy into a you sell into a strong market and buy into a weak market. And when you buy into a strong market is going up, you are already having a point that you are going to make money. But a weak market is for you to buy. But most people, this when the market is weak, they want to start panicking and be selling. You buy into a weak market and sell into a strong market. Now I see that our market is returning strongly. If you look at the T line, which is a 8 days moving average exponential, you can see that the market is trending. I can see this is what called markup. You can see that above the T line, you can see the market is going up. But when it was below the T line, it's the time you should to buy into the market. But when you see they came down here before these are the things you should watch. Our market has surpassed the previous high of 146,600.08. Now market is already above 147,000 mark. Good news. But even as this morning we are seeing that they have the marginal gain. The market is struggling between going up and going down. But we'll see at the end of the day what the market for me is still it's a midday. But I believe that when the afternoon players will come to the market, will now determine final where the market is going. Yes, let's call out other indicators. I don't want to explain the importance of following a trend. That is what we call trend following. Is very, very important also when you are trading. Let's call our other indicators MACD and money flow. For those that are used to us, I can see that we don't play with these figures we are calling or the indicators we are looking at. You can look at your money flow this morning on a daily chart. You can see that money flow is strong. Fund is running the market. You can see the way it's moving sharply above 85. For me, it's a good one. And MACD is bullish. And yes, you can see that yes, the volume might be relatively low because it's trading above average. But I'll tell you that the market is high. You can see that it's above the T line here on a daily chart. But we can quickly look at also on an hour chart to see what is happening. Even when happening on 1 hour chart, market is still trending. Good one, but above the T line on a daily chart. Good for me here on a 1 hour chart. And money flow is still strong at 65, and MACD is still also slightly bullish. I can see here on 1 hour time. But quickly look at what is 2 hours and 4 hours telling us before we move to other because our time is far. On also the same 2 hours, the market is still very strong. MACD is bullish, and money flow is within 80 on a 2 hour chart. We quickly look at the final one, 4 hours chart. That will give us a clear 4 hour chart. Also, market is very strong. Here you can see that MACD is already bullish. You can see it here. That means we need to pay attention to see what the figure we're expecting to come to do. This figure will do now whether we shape the market or not. But let's keep our eyes on the earnings that will shape it, especially as we look forward to see the September inflation figure. These are the corporate earnings or corporate number with the economic number will determine how market will go from here, and also what is happening also in the mature market. Already, we're seeing that the emerging market have been kind of identified to have to be on their value state right now. That's why funds are going most of the emerging market, which I know, which I know our market will not be left behind, especially if this critical we're expecting with expectation, and we are seeing relatively stability in our FS market, and companies posting better number that will give us idea of what to expect from this company at the end of their current financial year that have no fiscal year of January to December. On this note, I will say thank you for your time here. We look forward to see you on Wednesday. But I believe that most of the stocks that are still on the gainer start are stocks that you can still watch. We're still having more gainers, in the market right now, and we are already most of these stocks we need to also watch. We're seeing the life of Dicom there. We're seeing Sovereign Trust. We're seeing also the life of Concord, Charms. We're seeing Nigeria Brewery. Massad is all coming up. Veritas is still coming up. We're seeing also what could have managed to enter around 130, just 5 people up. Let's wait and see. It's mid afternoon. We are immediately ready. We're going to afternoon to see how the market will play. On this note, I'll say thank you. See you on Wednesday. Bye.